Hey friends and family, how y'all doing? This is Marqueline Sigler here with another exciting edition of Marquelin's Movie Reviews. And today we're talking about Charlize Theron in The Old Guard 2, which is only on Netflix, came out on July 2nd. Eternity has a price. Alright, so Old Guard initially caught my attention because, alright, for those of you who don't know, there's actually a comic book about Old Guard. It is actually a brilliant comic book. Greg Rucka is the writer. I forgot who the phenomenal artist is on that, because the art on that is phenomenal, I'm telling y'all. And it's a lot grittier than the movie. But the movie was okay. It was okay. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much I look forward to Old Guard 2. Now, I saw Old Guard 2. I enjoyed that, but I've looked at some other people on Twitter and TikTok and, well, you know, it's X, Twitter is the same thing to me. Old Guard 2 does not seem to be as well received as Old Guard, the original Old Guard movie. The biggest thing I noticed, there is a difference in the directors. I think Gina Prince, I think her last name, Blythewood, that directed Love and Basketball. She directed the first one. There is a different director for this one, but pretty much everyone from the original came back. And I'm gonna tell you what I like about it. I like that they added in the new characters. You have Henry Golden, you know, who most people know from Crazy Rich Asians. He's in it. And he's Snake Eyes too, so a lot of people know him as Snake Eyes. The lady who plays Quinn, I can think of her name, but she's in Fury and Furies, which are martial arts movies that people always talk about. I think her name is, I forgot her name. It'll come to me shortly, y'all. And then the big surprise for me, and I saw the commercial, I saw her in the commercial, but it didn't really click with me until I'm watching the movie, y'all. I'm like, Leonardo DiCaprio, is that Uma Thurman? Uma Thurman from Kill Bill, The Bride? Uma Thurman that's married to Ethan Hawke? Maya Hawke that's on Stranger Things, Mama? It was Uma Thurman. Uma Thurman is the villain in this. And that kind of surprised me because I thought the character of Quinn was going to be the villain. And so here, we're in the spoilery territory. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So Quinn is not the villain. It's actually Uma Thurman's character, who is Discord. And that's what she goes by. So let me back it up for all y'all who may not understand the concept of Old Guard. Basically, this is a combination of Highlander and maybe that movie that Chiwetel Ejiofor did with Mark Wahlberg called Infamous. But like I said, Old Guard is actually a comic book, which I've read, which is fantastic. If y'all get a chance to look at the comic book, take advantage of it. In fact, they did like 3 volumes. The first volume was like 6 issues. The second volume was like 6 issues. There's supposed to be a third volume that still has not come out. And what they did was the writer Greg Rucka, he basically had other writers do short stories of their existence in the world. But the premise is, you know, these people are immortal, similar to Highlander. They wanted the Earth. The biggest difference between this and Highlander is basically there are a limited number of immortals versus Highlander. There are a lot of immortals, but they're all trying to kill each other and cut their head off and, you know, get their quickening, which is their energy, which, you know, because there can only be one. There doesn't necessarily have to be only one. But Kiki Lane's character, Niles in this movie, she seems to be the last immortal born. While Uma Thurman's character, Discord, seems to be the first immortal born. So she's older than Andy, who is Charlize Theron's character. I think Andromache is what her actual name is. You know, so we thought she was the oldest one, but she's not. Also, if you see you can go into this not having watched Old Guard, the original Old Guard, but I would recommend you do because I had seen it and I didn't watch it again before hearing it, so I kind of had to remember what was going on. But basically, in the end of the first Old Guard movie, Andy basically lost her immortality. And I don't think there was ever an explanation for that. Well, it gets explained here. Basically, you know, Henry Golden's character, I think it's Taj is what his name is. He's kind of like the Watcher character from Highlander that Joe played, except he's also immortal. So he basically found this myth, this prophecy that says that the last immortal will be able to take immortality from the other immortals by striking them and giving them a blow. And if you remember in the first Old Guard, when they were sparring, you know, Niles actually did strike Andy, and from that point on, Andy lost her immortality. So I'm happy they revealed that. So that is a huge spoiler. So that's why I gave a spoiler warning. So overall, I enjoyed it. If I had to give it a rate, I'm gonna do 5. I don't even feel like going to 10, y'all. I'd give it 3 out of 5. I mean, honestly, if you're looking for something to do, it's not a bad way to spend the evening. I do feel like they spend too much time talking. It's like, that's what it's like sometimes for me. And I'm like, just get to the fight, get to the fight, get the fight, get the fight. The fights are not as good as I see, but they are enjoyable. They are enjoyable fights. I part of me feels like it kind of wasted Uma Thurman being the bride. I expected to do that level of killing. That's what I expected, that level of killing. And she didn't really get to do that. Or maybe they set it up, because I'm going to tell y'all, this kind of ends on a cliffhanger. Which is similar to the way the Old Guard comic book ended, on a cliffhanger. So, you know, similar but different. So I'm going to tell y'all what happened in the comic book. Okay. Well, so the character of Quinn basically is Andy's lover, soulmate, friend, we'll just call it that. And, you know, during the Puritan era, you know, they basically thought they were witches, and they basically put her in this kind of sarcophagus and put her overseas. So can you imagine being immortal, and every time you die you wake up, but you're constantly being drowned under tons of water for like 500 years? That would drive anyone crazy. So I expect Quinn to be crazy because of that. That's why it's going to be the big bad antagonist. But really, she's just a pawn for Discord, whose whole thing is, I don't know what her whole thing was. I just know she just kind of, and it turns out she and Taj I think his name, Henry Goulden's character, they were there when this happened. And she's like, nah, this can't happen to us no more. I need to amass money, power, and all this to make sure this don't happen to us no more. In basically, Discord's character basically takes the rest of the team, the Old Guard team, and gets away with them. Basically kidnaps everybody, all the immortals anyway. So Andy and Quinn are left to be together and like hunt him down. I assume that's the plot of the third one. Okay. And the comic book kind of ended similar. It basically, Niles found out, you know, you've been alive for like 7,000 years. You done did a lot of stuff to survive in the world. And you know, the world has not always been the place it is now. Some people think the world's bad now, but I'm going to say this. The world was probably much worse 7,000 years ago, where there wasn't no law or nothing like that. And people just do what they want and take what they want. And so I think in the comic book, Niles found out about some of the stuff Andy had done. Andy was like, yeah, I did all this stuff. I enslaved people. I killed people. You know, I raped. I was that person. I did all that. But that's how you survived back then. And so the team left Andy. Because Andy was like, I just don't want to do this no more. I just don't want to be, you know, I'm trying to do good in the world, but I'm just tired. I'm just, basically, I'm almost like a midlife crisis. You know, I'm tired of being alive. And they leave her. And then Noriko, who's Quinn's character in the book, and it's different. She's Noriko in the book, but she's Quinn in the movie. She comes like, look, they left you, huh? Well, I'm never going to leave you, so let's roll out together. So that is a similarity right there. So that's my quick take on Old Guard. Like I said, 3.3 out of 5, 3.7 out of 5. Fights are good, a little bit too much talking, you know, but otherwise enjoyable. Once again, this is Marklin's segment with Marklin's Movie Reviews. Let me know what you think about Old Guard. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? What did you like about it? What did you dislike about it? Make sure you like this video wherever you see it. Make sure you share it, comment, and subscribe. Holla at y'all later. Peace.